What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Untitled Game Channel. I am AJ Gels. Guys, it is time for my weekly news show. I think this is the fourth episode of this. I come here every week. It was a little infrequent at the beginning. Now I'm starting to get a little more regular on this. It's currently Saturday. I've changed the date recently. Obviously you're seeing this on Saturday. But this now goes live every Saturday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, please. If this is your first time watching, basically what I try to do, I gather news from, this week was mostly IGN, but, I follow a lot of them on Twitter. I have the IGN app. I'm an IGN guy, so, not with IGN, I'm a fan of IGN, there we go. So a lot of my news usually comes from them, but I also get stuff from Eurogamer, a lot of GameSpot, Polygon, Game Informer, these kind of sites. I gather news stories. I kind of summarize articles. Some articles I give my opinions on. So I do that every week. If at any time, I'll put this at the beginning instead of at the end. But if at any time I might, it's totally possible for me to miss an article. Please, if you find an article that you think is interesting, please go in the comments, post a link, or just talk about it. I'm always happy to have a discussion with you guys. I want you guys to have discussions in the comment sections of my videos. Because, I want this channel to be more about loving video games and talking about them more than just facts and news. I also want a lot of opinion and talking and all that. And yes, I know this is probably a little... This is what I want this to become. I know I'm still super early. I think I only have like 31 subscribers at the time. But yeah, that's my hope for the channel. That's what I want the show to be. I feel like there was something else. If you can notice, I'm doing a lot better than last week. My voice is coming back. All that. So I guess time for news. Apparently the Kinect adapter for the Xbox One S. We've known about this. The fact that there's going to have to be an adapter. Sorry. An adapter to use your Kinect on the upcoming Xbox One S. The price for this has been revealed at $30. And this is also a quote from the article. It appears the adapter will also work for Windows PC. End quote. That is not confirmed. But I believe the article also talked about the price for that with the price of that adapter being $30. The Kinect is at $100 right now, and the Xbox One S being $300. The entire bundle should wrap you around $330, or no, $430. I'm sorry, and also the currency I'm speaking in is U.S. American currency. So, Microsoft apparently will not be holding a press conference this year at Gamescom. This upcoming quote was posted by Xbox. This was posted on Xbox Wire by General Manager of Xbox Marketing, Aaron Greenberg. There we go. The quote reads, while we will not be hosting a media briefing this year, we're planning a new and more intimate Xbox FanFest experience for our fans across Europe and worldwide attending our Gamescom 2016 Xbox FanFest soon. End quote. That quote was used in the article, but reading the actual post, and I also like this one, because it kind of explains what we'll be seeing there. Later in the post, he says, and I quote, "At Gamescom 2016, we're excited to bring even more of those experiences into the hands of our fans." End quote. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think I missed a part in there earlier. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Earlier somewhere in the post, he says that they're bringing more experiences from E3, so they're trying to kind of expand on what Microsoft did at E3. But Microsoft won't be supposedly won't be the only big company not having a press conference. It appears that Sony will not be having a press conference. Let me see here. A PlayStation representative told Video Gamer, and I quote, "There will be no PlayStation conference at Gamescom." End quote. That was used in the article on IGN. Really, there is no confirmation from Sony that this is definite. Although last year Sony did the same thing, did not have a press conference. I believe this was to kind of hold out until Tokyo Game Show later in the year and PSX. which it wouldn't surprise me if they were doing this, even though I don't know. I think showing at Gamescom would make sense, seeing that they have a lot of stuff in progress. Just go watch the Sony E3 press conference. There was a lot of stuff there. So I don't know. I mean, maybe do something like that. I mean, maybe a little less production to it. You know, you don't probably need the live orchestra, but I don't know. I think something similar to that would be really cool at Gamescom. But either way, my coverage of Gamescom will start August 17th once the show starts. And just because I can't remember if I said it, the first article about the Kinect adapter was by Matt Porter of IGN. The Microsoft press conference was Joe Scrubbles of IGN, and this past PlayStation article by Matt Porter, also of IGN. There we go. Let's see here. In a tweet, this was also originally reported on by IGN, this tweet, the full article I have by Eddie McCooch at GameSpot. But in a tweet, jeez, I'm sorry, about Rare's new game, Sea of Thieves. It was kind of announced that the game would be releasing upcoming in February. This was sort of like a pseudo leak. Well, again, general manager of Xbox marketing Aaron Greenberg kind of tweeted out in response, and I quote, "Love seeing excitement for Sea of Thieves, but we have not announced a launch date yet," end quote. I don't know why he tweeted an exclamation point in there. That's a little weird to me. But since then, the tweet has been that tweet by Greenberg has been pulled, and been a statement has been given out by an Xbox representative. The statement reading, I quote, "Our next goal beyond E3 is a closed beta where we'll get some of our keenest fans involved in playing the game and providing feedback to the studio. We have nothing further to share at the moment, but we will have more details in the future," end quote. Sorry. Of course, once I turn the camera on, the coughing starts. I don't have word if that was the full statement, but it seems like the full statement, and that was what was given by the article. Like I said, article by Eddie McCooch at GameSpot. A leak may have revealed the upcoming DLC race for Total War Warhammer. Apparently, this upcoming race will be the Beastmen. There's currently no confirmation on this, and this was leaked via Reddit using a, at the time, unreleased YouTube video article by Matt Porter of IGN. I'd have more of an opinion on this if I played Total War, and also if I knew more about Warhammer. I know it's a very big RTS game. I believe it's an RTS. A really big strategy game, and I know a lot of people love it. But my personal knowledge with Warhammer is very limited. None. Let me rephrase. On July 26th, those of us still playing Fallout 4, will get to play around with the Vault Tech Workshop DLC. This was announced via Fallout 4's official website. This DLC basically will allow you to build your own vault. I think experiment on the vault dwellers, but you can also train them to defend the vault. I think this is a kind of a continuing on the Wasteland Workshop DLC, and then there's another one. The next DLC after the Vault Tech Workshop is another similar workshop where basically it's just more settlement building stuff. Sorry. I haven't played around a lot with that. Go check out my Fallout 4 series. I think right now I just recorded today a video for the Far Harbor DLC. If you want to see some of the workshop DLCs, tell me in the comments. I'll be happy to play them for you, or mess around a little with them. I really haven't messed around a lot with the settlement building. It's a big pain in the butt. The only time that I think I really would mess around with it if I want to get the trophy to try and get a platinum for Fallout 4. But again, that DLC will release July 26th. And again, if you want to see more about this DLC, go check out the Bethesda press conference from E3, because this was part of the presentation. Article by Alex Osborne of IGN. Free-to-play Mobius Final Fantasy will be available on iOS and Android on August 3rd. I believe this is For the West, I believe this game is already released in Japan. Could be wrong on that. But August 3rd, iOS and Android here in the West. This is Mobius Final Fantasy. I honestly do not know what exactly that game is. It just kind of came across my feed. I know there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there. So go check that out if you're interested. Article by Wesley Copeland of IGN. Now, a company that some people give a lot of crap to, I really like their kind of the episodic game style that they, if you ask me, I think really popularized, if that's a word. Telltale has announced a release window for their upcoming Batman game. August, it basically will be available August digitally, so via download, and September 13th retail. What this means is, this doesn't mean it's a single episode or it's going to be released in one big chunk. Basically what this is that the retail copy will contain the first episode and and basically a season pass code, so that as the remaining 4 episodes released digitally, you can download them if you bought the physical copy. That's probably what I'll be doing. I'll probably be playing the game on the channel, but I'll probably wait till the 13th and buy the my voice is cracking too. And buy the retail copy. Again, I'm a retail guy. I'm not shy about saying that. Go support your local GameStops. I'm not paid to say that. I just like GameStop. But no, I mean, I think this is a really interesting way to do this. And I also think this gets the game kind of in more people's hands earlier. Because like my experience, like especially with the Walking Dead series by Telltale, I never played them until they released on disc. I need to go play the Game of Thrones, and I really want to play Tales from the Borderlands. But again, it's just my thing. I don't buy a lot digitally. I think Life is Strange. I think I've only bought Life is Strange, Hitman, and Firewatch digitally. I think those are the only digital titles, or big digital titles, that I own. But no, I mean, I think this is a great idea. Although if you do want this retail copy in Europe, you will have to wait until September 16th. Article by Matt Porter of IGN. On to more games that I don't really know much about. Killer Instinct Definitive Edition will be available for Xbox One on September 20th for $40 US. Again, I know Killer Instinct. I know it's a very popular fighting game. Again, I'm not a fighting game. The 3 real fighting games that I know of are Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. I also know of King of Fighters. Well, I really haven't played King of Fighters. I just know it's a fighting game. Kind of like how I know Killer Instinct's a fighting game. Although I think Killer Instinct's famous for having like a lot of weird characters. I know they have a lot of stuff from characters from other games, as well as like weird monster fighting. I've heard really good things about it. Let me just say that. This definitive edition will contain all characters and content from seasons 1 through 3, as well as enhanced visuals. Article by Jordan Serrani of IGN. The soundtrack to the original Killer Instinct will be released on vinyl. As in a record. This item is currently available at iam8bit.com. This has become a super popular craze, and I believe iam8bit is spelled IAM, the numeral 8bit.com. They've been releasing a lot of game soundtracks on vinyl. In the past, I think I've done about 4 or 5 stories of previous games, and we can include the original Killer Instinct, and an article by Alex Osborne of IGN. iam8bit will also be selling a Rocket League soundtrack on vinyl, that from a Nicole Carpenter article on IGN. Sorry. Again, sorry about all the coughing. Koei Tecmo will be releasing a game based on the Berserk manga out here in the West. I've read a little bit of this manga. You know, I like manga, I like anime. I've read a little bit of Berserk. It's really bloody, really violent, really, really interesting story. I have a bad habit. I read like 9 or 10 different series at once, and always one becomes like the one I really get interested in, and sometimes some other really good ones kind of fall to the wayside until I pick them back up again. And I haven't revisited Berserk, so I don't know the full story. But it's a really violent, a really cool story about a mercenary named Guts. He has an arm that has a crossbow attachment. It's a fake arm. I know I'm giving you like the description that I think like a 12-year-old would give. But it's a really neat manga, so go check. Yeah. So again, if you're interested, go check it out. But this this game will be released on PS4, PS Vita, and PC. Although there's no exact release date. The article just listed the fall. The article also gave in this quote, and this is kind of a description of the game. And I quote, "Marrying the gameplay of the Dynasty Warriors series with beloved storylines from the series Berserk will focus on the life of protagonist Guts and Griffith, the leader of the Band of the Hawk." End quote. Like I said, that is from the article, and that's how they describe the gameplay of the game. Article by Jonathan Dornbush of IGN. So again, I think this is a Dynasty Warriors-esque game. Steam, kind of in response to the recent controversy. If you don't know what controversy I'm talking about the item gambling issue. Go check the past 2 weeks. I've done a few stories on that issue. But Steam has banned item gambling, I believe, through their terms of service. I believe they changed those recently. Currently, Valve is asking the current sites that are doing this to cease operation through Steam. They are not telling them to stop operation, I believe, in all, but just through Steam. Basically, I would ask you guys to go read the article. There's a great statement by Eric Johnson of Valve. It basically explains the reason or how all this started, basically saying that Steam, or that Valve initially had this, this service isn't the right word, the fact that you could, I think, either buy or trade these skins so that other people can get access to more skins. That was the original, how all this started, or the mechanic. There we go, of how this started, and then these sites began pulling these in, and then trading these skins for actual physical money. And then there's the whole gambling issue. There's a whole problem with the FTC, that there's a lot of YouTubers who were doing endorsements for these sites. Some are actually running these sites, and were not, disclosing that they had any connections to them, or were paid to do these videos to make it seem like they were winning big, or that you could win big. And if you don't, the FTC is the Federal Trade Commission. This is basically it's an advertising issue, that if you are paid to do an advertisement, like if somebody's paid to endorse, say that I was paid to endorse McDonald's, and then on here all I did was talk about how great McDonald's is, but didn't tell you guys that I was being paid by McDonald's to do it. That's illegal. Maybe not like illegal, but it's against the laws of the FTC. Again, I'm not sure if laws are the right word. I'm not a legal expert, but basically, it's if you're being endorsed or promoted or promoting something, and you're getting paid to do so, you need to outfront disclose that it is. It's basically to keep people from faking advertisements. But like I said, go check out that article. It had a very interesting, like I said, statement. Like I said, Eric Johnson of Valve. Article was by Jonathan Dornbush of IGN. Go check that out. In another IGN article by Matt Porter, apparently the FTC is now going after Warner Bros. For a similar issue, that Warner Bros. Actually paid YouTubers for favorable coverage for Shadow of Mordor. One, I don't know why you would need to pay people. Shadow of Mordor was awesome. I'm not being paid to say that. Shadow of Mordor, I really liked the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. Really cool addition to the Lord of the Rings mythos. I know I'm getting fancy. I'm using big words now. But no, I really did enjoy Shadow of Mordor. Go check it out. If you haven't played it, it's on PS4 and Xbox One. But again, it's a similar problem that they paid these YouTubers for these favorable reviews and coverage. But again, the problem was that this was not disclosed. This has actually recently hit a very popular person in the YouTube gaming circle, Felix Kilberg, I hope is how it's pronounced. Probably more known by his YouTube handle PewDiePie. Not a big fan of him myself, but I do respect what he's done with his channel. I think he's just I don't think he's had 1 billion subscribers, but I know he's high millions. He's got a lot of subscribers. Basically, he's speaking out against actually the coverage of this case, because his name is listed in reports, and that outlets that are talking about this are actually using him because he's a big, high-profile name attached to this. In a recent video you can probably go find on his channel, he actually showed proof that he did disclose that he received, that he disclosed that, that he did receive money for the endorsement, and all that, from Warner Bros. He disclosed it. The problem is, as the FTC says, the disclosures were either, and I quote, omitted or placed below the fold and behind a share more button. That exact quote was actually pulled from the words of the article, not exactly what the FTC, but that's generally what the FTC is saying. It's something about basically plain disclosure. And you go into any video, you hit the show more, it's down in the description. And that's where apparently PewDiePie put his disclosure that, he's of everything that was going on, but because it wasn't above the show more button, that's a small issue. I'm going to defend PewDiePie. Again, I think he's in the right here. I don't think his name should be dragged through the mud. Like he said, he disclosed it. Yeah, he's even come out and said, yeah, I should have disclosed it more openly than kind of hiding it, and maybe not hiding is the right word, but kind of putting it in all the words of the description, kind of like those, and this is my kind of comparison, kind of like in those iTunes updates that have all the words that you never read. So again, I think I agree with him. Yeah, probably should have been a little more upfront, but I don't think he should receive any penalties or anything from the FTC. I don't think that's a problem with him. And again, I think I don't know. I think the FTC is doing their job going after Warner Brothers and the YouTubers who didn't put no disclosure on their coverage or anything. That is a problem. But I will say at least PewDiePie, let him go. Just let him go. He's fine. There, I quoted I watched the Young Turks a lot on also YouTube news site, a news organization run through YouTube. Go check them out. They're pretty good. They have a lot of really good. Again, not paid to say this. I enjoy their coverage and all that stuff. They're heavily liberal, so just a little warning, just ahead of time. All right, article by Matt Porter of IGN. Jesus, I'm sorry. This is really starting to hurt my chest too. A countdown clock has appeared on the Japanese website for Persona 5 that will apparently end on July 19th. This is currently ahead of the September release in Japan, and it seems that the news that will be released in the countdown clock will be related to the Japanese audience. This is because the game will release in North America on February 14th, 2017, something that I have in previous videos given my how to put this, strong annoyance. No, I sound like I'm angry at Atlas and all this for this. No, you release the game when you release it. I do think it's weird that the Japanese version's in September and we have to wait all the way till February. I do think it's a I don't know. I do think it's a I don't know. I think it's weird that you didn't do the American translation alongside of it, since this is a very popular game and a very popular RPG in the West. But again, I don't fully know how development process works. Somebody, I think it was Brian Altano of IGN said it best on a episode of Podcast Beyond. I think he put it best with, I can say make the graphics better, but I don't have any concept of how you do it, so, I think that kind of describes, I can say, well, why didn't you do an English voice, alongside the Japanese, but, I don't know exactly how much extra work that would be, or you know what I mean. That article by Chris Pereira of GameSpot, and July 19th being in a couple days, I will talk about that when it comes up. So let's see here. Apparently, Paramount Television is currently working on a Battlefield television adaptation. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Paramount has acquired the rights from EA and is partnering with Anonymous Content. The article also points out that Anonymous Content has produced movies The Revenant and Spotlight, and I'm going to say hit TV show because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, Mr. Robot on the USA Network. Article by Alex Osborne of IGN. An update is coming to Overwatch's competitive mode that will basically allow only one hero on a team, basically meaning similar to League of Legends, where you can only have like one character. I used to know the names of the characters. It's been too long since I played League. But you can only have one of each specific character on a team. So it will be using a similar system, I assume. Article by Jonathan Dornbush of IGN. And as well as Overwatch's first kind of new post-launch character has been revealed. Ana Amari is a support sniper. She uses a biotic rifle that can heal teammates and hurt enemies. Her secondary weapon is a sleep dart that knocks people unconscious. She also has a biotic grenade that creates a kind of a healing area of effect, and her ultimate ability is Nano Boost, which increases speed, damage, and resistance to incoming damage. Article by Chloe Rad of IGN. Now, on to probably the most popular game in not recent memory, but of the last week or so, Pokemon Go. Apparently, Yelp now has a filter for businesses that have Pokestop locations nearby. Article by Alex Osborne of IGN. That's a little that's kind of funny if you ask me. The fact that Yelp has this, that you can actually narrow down places you want to go if they have Pokestop locations. Again, I think this just goes to show how big this freaking game is right now. Also, in another article, apparently if you cheat at Pokemon Go by faking your GPS location, you can get a soft ban from this ban that I've read from anywhere from a few hours to a full day. But apparently this was done by people in like rural locations because they don't get as much out of the game because there's less Pokestops nearby. I live in a large town, and near my downtown area, there's like 40 of them, like all tightly condensed. So I guess I get the problem. The article kind of also talked about let me think here. Linzio Pizza Bar, I believe. Said that was in New York, I believe, or Long Island. That's where that was. Apparently, they bought lures, the in-game item that attracts Pokemon to a location. Well, they use these lures to bring Pokemon near the restaurant and bring in customers. I think that's kind of I don't know. Some people would say that's dirty. That's what I'm like. Nah, it's smart. People don't have to come inside. I mean, they say it has increased their customers. I mean, if their customers keep increasing, I'm assuming that means they're bringing in and it's good. So, I don't know. No harm, no foul. Article by Matt Paget of GameSpot. Let's see here. I actually really like this one. In another article by Matt Paget of GameSpot, apparently a man's house has been labeled a Pokemon gym. Mr. Boone Sheridan, I did not get his exact location or where he's from the article, but he said it was, and I quote, startling for a few minutes, end quote, about the fact that people would kind of hang out around his house, and that cars would park in front of his house and just sit there for a little bit. But he actually kind of likes it. He's enjoyed it. He's, as he's put it, the people have been, and I quote, respectful and friendly, and that he actually plays the game himself. He plays it. His wife plays it. When his nephews come over, they play it. So it's a neat little thing for his family. Apparently, this is all because his house actually used to be a church. So it kind of, I guess, used to be a landmark. So it's now a Pokemon gym. Well, he's being a great sport about this. He's actually trying to get lights on his house that will actually change colors as the gym changes teams. You know, I believe it's Team Valor, Team Mystic, and I can't remember the yellow one. So, you know, he's trying to get it so that when the gym changes hands, these lights actually change from red to blue to yellow. I think that's a great, I don't know, that's being a really cool sport. I think, again, he shows that he really likes it. This is a quote from Sheridan, and I quote, "It's been a lot of fun, but I think it's a good idea to try and get the gym moved." I get where he's coming from, end quote. I get where he's coming from, you know, I mean, it is his freaking house, you know, it's where he lives. But he does say that there is and I quote, "great park across the street." So again, he wants it moved, just not that far away. Again, I think that is the best. That's the best thing, the best way you can handle a situation like this. I mean, this isn't the only kind of like weird thing that's been going on with Pokemon Go. There's been others. A woman's found a dead body, running around playing the game. A couple guys actually, I believe, caught an attempted murderer. Some guy who was wanted for attempted murder because his game froze and he looked up from his screen and found him. Some people are equating that to Pokemon Go, and I say, nah, that's just luck. I was talking to somebody, they told me people have actually fallen into the Grand Canyon. I mean, that's terrible and sad, but look up from your phone, people. Come on. That's one of those that I don't blame the game. I blame them. Again, you're at the Grand Canyon. I get it to check it, but again, I also don't get the people walking around. I don't know about anyone else. My phone vibrates when one's nearby, so I walk around with it in my hand, and when I feel it, buzz, I lift it, find it, catch it, and keep walking. I don't know about other people. I also like playing it in the car. It's actually kind of fun. Although there's one place though that's not really embracing that's not embracing Pokemon Go and its players. That would be the Holocaust Museum in New York. Apparently, they're now asking people not to play Pokemon Go in and around the building. Well, I mean, as long as they're not on your property, I don't think you can ask them not to play it, like walking down the street. I mean, I get where they're coming from, I mean, this is a place for people to remember, and it's not a place to be playing games, although their rules do not stay, I read in some article, I think on GameSpot, that the rules do not say no playing video games in the area. Although there's been a lot of controversy, and again, earlier I said, I'm a fan of the Young Turks, that's where, check Cenk Uygur, let him go, that's what, that's why I did that thing almost instinctually. But, I also saw this on their program, they were talking about this. I think they have a little misunderstanding with the game, or maybe I have the misunderstanding, because as far as I understand it, that the Pokemon where they pop up is totally randomly, what Pokemon show up where is randomly generated. I mean, I found a Horsey nowhere near a body of water. I'm assuming if Niantic was placing these things, they'd put them in better locations. But I mean, so I think some people are thinking that they're being specifically placed places, that in the specific problem with the Holocaust Museum, there's a picture floating around of a coughing being kind of ironic because I'm coughing. There's a coughing actually hanging around the museum, and if you don't know Pokemon that well, coughing is the poison gas Pokemon, and that's a that's not too sensitive to the victims of the Holocaust. I'm not trying to make light of the Holocaust or anything. I will kind of say, though, I am a terrible person, because when I heard that news, I went, mostly because I'm like, oh, that's ironic, I mean, it showed up there, it was randomly generated. I assume, and I hope, that was not placed there maliciously. I believe that was part of a randomly generated thing, and it's, because I've seen a lot of other ironic ones showing up different places, like a Psyduck hanging on geese, and Magikarp on plates, and I think I saw somebody catch a Horsey that was in a glass of water. So I've seen a lot of funny ones. So again, the coughing of the Holocaust Museum kind of made me chuckle, kind of go, that's ironic. That's also God, it's terrible. But again, I don't know. I mean, I think the people who are outraged by this, calm down. calm down a little bit. Again, this wasn't placed there. I've heard that the museum is in talks with the people running the game to not have Pokemon show up near there. I'm not sure if they could do that. But again, I think to the outrage on this case, calm down a little bit. It wasn't done maliciously or on purpose. But again, I mean, I guess easier for me to say I'm not Jewish and didn't have anybody who died or didn't have a family member who died as a victim of Holocaust. So again, a little probably easy for me to say. But that's my opinions on that. That's really all the news I got for you guys this week. Like I said earlier, you find some news out there that interests you, please put in the comments, discuss it there. I'm gonna kind of rush this outro because my voice is really starting to get a little raw here. But guys, thank you for watching. You find me on Facebook, Twitter, and my website down in the description below. Hit me up in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, all that stuff. So guys, until next time, I'm AJ Gels, and this is the Untitled Gaming Channel. Everybody out there, keep gaming yourself. Hell, you know what? Go into the comments. Tell me what you guys are gonna play this week. Other than what I'm playing for Let's Plays this week, I'm gonna dust off my 360. I'm gonna play my way through the Mass Effect trilogy. That's something, I'm watching another YouTuber play it right now, Christopher Odd. I'm a fan of his. I'm watching him play Mass Effect. I'm like, man, I really want to go back and play it. So I'm going to go back and play that. So any of you out there watching who's made it this far, go into the comments. Tell me what you're planning on playing this week or have played recently, just for fun, I'd love to hear from you guys. So like I said, guys, until next time, thank you for watching. I'm AJ Gels, and this is the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm out.